Hey loves, thanks for tuning in to CYB TV. This is Cherish and I'm back. Okay, I'm back. This is a message, y'all, for all of the mothers out there. Okay, men can listen into this too, but women of faith, mothers, okay, I am speaking to you directly. The Lord wants me to bring you this message because, for one, I have experience now, and this is just something that the Lord wants me to impress onto mothers because this could help you. Like, this can help your children's children, okay? But the main thing is, for you mothers, I just want to say, stop throwing your daughters out there. Daughters in particularly, okay? And we'll get into the boys if you're a mother of boys. But if you're a mom and if you have a daughter, stop throwing your daughters out there to the wolves, okay? These men that are wearing sheep's clothing, but they're really ravenous wolves. Because what's happening is, these daughters are getting of age, or sometimes not even of that age, and they're getting out the house, and now they're fending for themselves. Men's job is to protect and to provide, okay? So if there's a father in the home, the father's job is to protect and provide, okay? When the daughter is seeing this man do this and treat the mother as a queen and as, taking care and providing for her and the household, because in the word of God it says a man that doesn't provide for his own household is worse than a non-believer. Okay, so a man should be protecting and providing and, taking care of the household. So when the daughter is seeing this, this is the type of man she will look for. Now let's get into the single moms. Being raised by a single mother of 5 children, I had to see my mom, take on all roles. She literally taught me to never depend on a man. Make sure you have your own because of the experiences she had. Long story short, I had to go through my own journey, leaving home at 18, or I think I was 18, after 2 weeks after I graduated from high school, because I did not want to feel like a burden to my mom. And don't get me wrong, my mom never said you had to leave or anything like that. I'm just that type of person. I'm like, look, I can figure this thing called life on my own, because 1, I believe and trust in God, and 2, I already have my own dreams and goals. So I was like, I got to go figure out and start moving on this stuff, right? So I didn't want to stay at home knowing that my mom's nature is to just pretty much give her last, sacrifice for her children. So I was like, no, I'm good. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate everything that you did for me, but I am old enough. I can figure it out on my own. But being taught what I was taught, which, I don't think my mom meant any harm by it. Of course not. I had to learn, and I'm out here now, different city, 2 hours away from home, figuring it out. And I would say I did a pretty good job, but during those things that I had to experience, I had boys, okay, looked like they're men body, but boys trying to attach themselves to me because I had that mindset. Oh, I'm going to accomplish this goal. I'm going to go out there and be somebody, right? I'm going to take care of business. But now they're trying to steal my light. Now they're trying to take off, take what I have, and I didn't know this in the process of it, because I'm just like, well, good to get married. I want to have a family. It's good to, build with somebody. That's what I thought, build with somebody and stuff, and we can create a legacy. We can create this family dynamic and this strong legacy and everything. So those were my intentions, but everybody doesn't have those same intentions as you, right? So here these guys are, and they see this and what I'm doing and what I'm producing and stuff, but I'm just like, I was raised in love. So my mom always said to love everybody. Don't judge, don't do this, don't do that. So I was raised up in the church, and those are things that I heard too constantly. So I'm not looking at things in the perspective of like, oh my gosh, they're out to get me and this. I'm looking at it like, oh, they seem cool, they seem nice. But it just got me into a lot of situations, okay? So during my experience, the Lord had to show me like, look, you're a woman. Okay. Yes, you can do a lot. You can handle it. You can hold it down. You can handle it down the fort. You saw your mom do it. You believe you can do it too. You have that strength. But the Lord had to work on me after my after my first marriage and second. But anyways, first marriage, to say, look, you have to go by the book. Okay. The word of God says a man should lead, because I've always ended up being the leader in my relationships, always being the initiator, doing this, doing that, taking care of like everything. And God was like, no, that's a man's job. So I had to really seek God and understand what God wanted me to do as a woman. And that is to sit back, relax, chill, don't always feel the need that you have to drag a man, build a man or whatever and stuff. But those are the things where I'm at in this stage of my life right now, just really comprehending and learning now that I'm, in this singlehood, I'm a single mom now, even though my kids have a great father. I'm teaching my kids the things of the word, okay? Especially my daughter. I'm not raising her to never depend on a man, because when two people come together as husband and wife, you're supposed to become as one, and you're supposed to be fruitful and multiply for God, every area of your life. So marriage is a good thing and honorable by God. But there's a way to do it. So I'm teaching my daughter now, like, look, she's only 2, but still, these are the things I will be teaching her. Like, look, find a man that got his stuff together. You know what I mean? So I won't be throwing her out to the wolves. I will be keeping her home as long as possible. My plan as a mom is to have like multifamily units so my kids can learn how to take care of their own space, but without feeling the pressure that they have to do it on their own, if that makes sense. So I can make sure that my children, and my daughter especially, are equipped, for marriage, if that's what the Lord's will is for them, which I believe it would be, and my sons, I tell them 5 and 7 years old, like, your job is to protect and provide, so I teach them things to be self-sufficient around the home. I don't baby them. Okay. I teach them how to cook. I teach them how to clean. I teach them about all the necessities that they will need to learn in order to take care of a family. Okay. And you best believe I started working at 15 years old. My sons will be working early, okay, because they need to learn how to manage money. They need to learn how to do this, do that. They have their own bank accounts already, but they will know what to do. And I'm not saying all this to say like, oh, I got it all figured out. Absolutely not. But thankfully, because my mom was so into that stuff and being progressive, being the generational curse breaker in her family, she did things differently. You know what I mean? Moved us into different neighborhoods, taught us about as much as she can about budgeting and finances and things like that. So those things I am only building upon because of what my mom taught me. So I'm able to build more for myself, because I plan on doing even more than my mom, showed me, and that way I can pass it on to my kids and they can pass it on to their children. And I hope that they just get better and better and better. That's my hope, right? So now in this stage, even though my daughter is young, I see what the Lord will is for women, okay? And for boys or young boys to grow up and not be 30, 40 years old, still trying to figure life out. No, Jesus left home when he was 12 years old. Okay. He was like, I'm about my father's business. That's my hope for my boys, is to be so gung-ho about their purpose in life from a young age, which I believe they are already expressing that. I knew what I wanted to do by the time I was 8 years old. My son, my oldest, he's 7, he was expressing what he wanted to do since he was 2 or 3. So as a parent, it's our job to see what our children are taking to and encourage that, nurse that, because I believe it's the purpose that God has placed inside of them. So we have to do our best to make sure we're promoting that, you know what I mean, and not trying to dim their light. And same thing with my 5-year-old. He just recently expressed what he's into or whatnot. But all this to say is that moms, please just be careful what we feed into our children, and daughters especially, and don't be so quick. Oh, you're 18, you can get out of my house. You can make sure they're set up for success. Okay. We want to set our children up for success, so they're not feeling lost in this world. And there's some evil people out there that just want to use and abuse and take advantage of nice-hearted people, or people that just got it all figured. Like, they know what their path is supposed to be, but you can easily get thrown off of that path from somebody that just looking to not add to your life and just looking to take. So that's why the Lord wanted me to bring this message, because I have a little experience behind this, and I am actually living this now as a mom. You know, of course, I didn't think I was going to be a single mom at this point, but y'all, I'm going to be 40 soon, and I not that soon, in a couple years, but still, I understood the process and the things that I needed to go through in this journey in order to arrive to where I'm at. You know, getting my mind right, my body right, my spirit right, and alignment with God. Because if you want to be a generational curse breaker, if you want to do differently than what you were raised around, what you grew up from, you have to be willing to take those leaps of faith and truly trust God's ways. And that's what I had to do. I had to literally, I'm still working on it, but I'm working on stepping into all that God has me to be. Not what I was necessarily taught, not what I saw around me, what, you know, I was conditioned, or just even what I'm able to do. Okay. Yes, I believe women are so powerful. We can do great things. I mean, come on now. We give life. But if you desire to be in a marriage and a relationship, I do believe there's a certain order of the way it should be. And as a woman, I like to be in my femininity. And I had to learn that over the years. You know, I don't want to be doing all this hustling and bustling. This is the first time in my life for the last 2-3 years that God had to sit me down. Literally, he had to sit me down, because I'm like, I can do this. I can do that. I'm strong. I'm a strong Black woman. But God was like, no, Cherish. Trust me, honey. I know what you can do. I've seen enough. Okay, let's sit your butt down and let me bring what you desire into your life. Okay, but just work on what I need you to work on right now. And that's where I'm at in my life. But anyways, y'all, I hope that this message resonated with any of the mothers out there, and even fathers. Just know, men, if you are desiring to have a family, just make sure you got your stuff together. No woman wants to build a man. I don't care. I've never looked at money or anything like that as a factor, but I would say it's going to show if you are actually wanting that family life. You're going to want to show a woman that you can protect and provide for her and the family and the children she's going to have, okay? Because yeah, don't think that we're supposed to just be, okay, I love you, I know, everything will work out. No, that's not going to promote respect, and that's not going to promote leadership. Okay, now a woman is going to step into the relationship and just feel burdened, or just like all the weight's on her, especially when she's a woman that is just about her business. So it's okay to support. It's okay to motivate. It's all good, because that's just what I'm going to do regardless with whoever is in my life. But I'm no longer going to take that extra initiative. And I don't think women should have to. You know, a man is supposed to be the head of the household. Okay. And the one guiding and directing the flow. I believe a man sets the tone. A woman's going to just make you at peace, okay? And give you all, you know, do you good all the days of your life. That Proverbs 31 woman, okay? But anyways, that's it, y'all. Let me get off of here. And yeah, don't forget to cherish your beauty and be all that God has created you to be, mind, body, and spirit. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.